Every train skips this station. But she still runs after them, every single night. There was a small, forgotten railway station called Willow Creek Station, tucked away in the rural backwoods of Virginia. And posted there was a ticket collector named George Lawson. It was his first time visiting the station, and it was already well past midnight. George arrived in a rickety old cab driven by a nervous-looking local. As they approached the station, the driver suddenly spoke in a panicked tone, "Sir, please hurry. I really need to leave now." Sweat trickled down the driver's face, and his hands trembled slightly as he clutched the steering wheel. George, confused, pulled out his wallet. The fare was $6, but he only had a $5 bill. Before he could say anything, the driver snatched the $5 and sped off, leaving George puzzled and a little unsettled. He shrugged it off and entered the station building. Inside, he met a janitor, an old man with a crooked smile who offered to show him around. There was a small ticket counter, a dusty waiting room, and a tiny office with a cot for the staff. Everything looked abandoned, frozen in time. George chuckled and asked, "Is it always this dead here? Does anyone ever come?" The janitor paused and looked away. Then he muttered under his breath, "Even if no one comes, she always does." George frowned. "Who?" But the janitor just smiled eerily and said, "I'll bring you some tea," before vanishing into the shadows. Later that night, George sat alone in the office, updating the registers, trying to ignore the strange silence. Suddenly, he heard the distant horn of a train. According to the schedule, it was supposed to stop, but it didn't. It thundered past the platform. Then George saw a girl running after the train on the platform. She was trying to catch it, her arms outstretched, her long white dress flowing behind her. Alarmed, George rushed outside. But by the time he reached the platform, the girl was gone. He rubbed his eyes. Am I seeing things? 30 minutes passed. Another train came. Again, it didn't stop. And again, the same girl appeared, chasing it in despair. George shouted after her, but she didn't hear. She just ran until she vanished into the darkness. Determined to figure out what was going on, George decided to wait on the platform for the next train. When it finally came, the train slowed slightly, and the conductor even made eye contact with George. But then, the conductor's face turned pale. He suddenly hit the throttle and sped away, and right then, the girl appeared again, same white dress, same desperate run, but this time, George saw something horrifying. Her feet weren't touching the ground. He stumbled back in fear, heart pounding, and sprinted back into the office. He bolted the door and collapsed into the chair, shaking. Then, a sound. He looked at the window, and saw something crawling on the platform outside. It was a severed, bloody knee dragging itself slowly, as if trying to find the rest of its body. George screamed and fled through the back door of the station. He ran a mile into the dark woods until he saw an old man sleeping on a bench by the road. George woke him up and blurted out the whole story. The old man stared at George's railway uniform and sighed. "If you value your life," he said, "you'll get your posting changed fast." He explained that Willow Creek Station had been shut down for over 40 years due to a tragic accident. In the late 1960s, a girl had been crushed under a train while chasing after it. Her body was never recovered. Locals say her spirit haunts the station, appearing every night, trying to catch the train she never made. "No train stops there now," the old man said. "They all know. But you're not the first. Others came before you. Most of them left screaming. Some never left at all." George didn't wait till morning. That same night, he packed up his things, left the station behind, and went back home, quitting his job and never returning. He was suspended from the rail service. But he didn't care, because deep down, he knew he had a